Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. Today is April 22nd, 2020. We are still under quarantine and it looks like the governor is going to be extending the quarantine until June and possibly August. It's unfortunate, but we still have to make the best out of this quarantine. So I will continue to make these videos and then hopefully by the end of these videos we'll be out of quarantine. Now, if you don't need a loan and you're paying cash money, that's okay, and I am impressed. You should skip to step number 3. So you have finally decided to buy your own house. Now, you are so excited you don't know what to do. Now, the first thing that you should do is you can either contact me and I can actually refer you to a lender, or you can go to your preferred lender, and what you want to do is fill out a mortgage application. Now, I know that you might not want to fill out a mortgage application now because maybe you're not ready to buy, say, this year, or maybe you just don't think that your credit's good enough. Now, the reason why you do want to fill out a mortgage application is because the mortgage application is going to tell you exactly what you need in order to qualify for a loan. So say your credit's too low, say you need to fill out some court documents, say you've had a bankruptcy, or you have to deal with anything else, your mortgage application is going to determine what steps you need in order for you to be eligible for them. So one thing to remember is that even if you fill out a mortgage application with one lender, it doesn't mean that you have to follow through and buy a house with them. Now, it would be better because then you don't have to get your credit pulled more than once. But if you do have to change lenders, don't feel bad or don't feel like you're pressured to be with that lender, because you can change it anytime. And basically, when you fill out the next application, your lender is going to say, hey, we see an inquiry, what happened? And you just have to say, oh, well, I was shopping around for rates. And they understand that happens a lot. Obviously, you don't want to fill out like 50 mortgage applications because that's really going to hurt your score. And it takes a little while for it to be completely out of your records. So keep that in mind. But make sure that when you're filling out a mortgage application, you are completely truthful in what you're saying, because everything has to be correct, because if there's any discrepancies, your lender later might deny your loan. So you want to be completely truthful. Your mortgage lenders or your friends, they are not trying to deny a loan. They want you to get a loan. So they will do what they can to make sure that you do get this loan, but you want to make sure that you're very truthful. Low credit score is not a problem. I know a lot of people, when I talk to them, I'm like, hey, what's your credit score? They're kind of like, oh, I have a 500. It's okay. It's okay. That is not the worst thing that you can have, because that can be fixed. So don't be scared about a low credit score. Fill out a mortgage application and then you can go from there. Worst case scenario, you have a terrible credit score, and guess what? We can fix it. So please fill out a mortgage application if you think that you are ready to buy a house, and then we can go from there. So what I found is that a lot of people don't know what their credit is, and they don't know how to fix it either. And I have seen a lot of advertisements about people who fix your credit, which a lot of the time they can, and it really depends. Every situation is different. Your lender will be able to give you a pretty good idea of what you need to do to get your credit up. The reason why you want your credit to be up or be a pretty reasonable credit is because the credit is going to determine what kind of interest rate you get and also what kind of loan you qualify for. Now, I'm not a lender, I'm a real estate agent, so I do know roughly about what each lender requires, but for that I would actually refer you to talk to your lender. In the future I might make a video on what the requirements are, but right now I'm just going through over the application. Now, because step 1 and 2 are pretty much go hand in hand, I'm just going to go over step number 2, which is basically just completing the requirements from your lender. So when you apply for the mortgage application, they will tell you what you need in order to meet the requirements. So if they need you to maybe file your taxes for this next year, if they need you to resolve any issues, this is step number 2. You want to make sure that you meet all of the lender requirements in order for you not to have any issues in the future. Now, it is really important that you complete them in a timely manner. And then after that, after you've completed the 2 steps, you get what is called a pre-approval letter. Now, this is key. This is the key to success. So the reason why it is really important to get that pre-approval letter is because a lot of agents will not show you a house until you are pre-approved. The reason why we require a pre-approval letter is because, say I go and take you to see a house and you completely fall in love with it and you want to put an offer now, but guess what? You didn't meet the lender requirements, so they're not going to give you a pre-approval letter. So guess what? Somebody else also loves the same house and they are actually pre-approved and they're ready to go. Guess who's going to win? That's the reason why we don't really want to show houses to somebody who doesn't have a pre-approval letter, because it is going to be disappointing for you, because you might find a house that you really love but you cannot buy. So it's like window shopping, but it's to me it's a little bit more emotional, because houses, really houses that you fall in love with are very hard to come by, and when you lose it, it's really like worse than being dumped on Valentine's Day. And I'm not even kidding. I've been dumped on Valentine's Day and it wasn't that bad. But when I've lost houses that I really wanted to buy, I was very sad, and I'm like, man, like why wasn't I prepared? So that's my advice to you, and that completes step number 2. The next video I'm going to talk about step number 3, which is looking for your house. Thank you for watching. We'll see you next time.